Last weekend at Stand and Deliver, MSK regained the NXT Tag Team titles in a three-way match over Imperium and the Creed brothers. This was in spite of allegations that had been levied earlier against one half of MSK, Nash Carter, of domestic abuse by his wife, pro wrestler Kimberly, who is currently under contract with Impact Wrestling. MSK even appeared on Tuesday's NXT show. But the very next day, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com broke the news that Carter had been released by WWE. And on Friday, WWE announced that the current NXT Tag Team Champions, who they never named, they just referred to them as the current NXT Tag Team Champions, have relinquished the titles. New champions will be crowned this Tuesday night on NXT. So they are going to crown new champions on television this week. They're not going to do some drawn-out tournament or something like that. Exactly how they're going to go about doing it. Is Wes Lee going to be involved? We don't know yet. But we will have new champions crowned on Tuesday. And Carter's profile has since been removed from WWE.com in the Superstar section. This whole story is a complete mess. So after MSK won back the tag team titles, Kimberly went on social media and posted a photo of herself with a swollen jaw. It looked like she had a cut on her cheek, as she claimed was caused by her husband. And she tagged WWE in the tweet, which said, hey, actually she tagged technically NXT, but hey NXT, this is my face after your tag champ Nash Carter got wasted and hit me so hard he split my lip open. He told me I'm a wrestler, so I'm always marked up. I've hid this for a year and even forgave him, but I can't hide it anymore. You all wanted proof? There it is. I'm sorry I backed out, but he was telling me lies all weekend to get me to not say anything. Then the next day, she posted another photo, this one of Carter from many years ago when he was believed to be maybe around 19 years old, posing for a photo sporting a Hitler mustache doing the Nazi salute. And the belief is that he was fired not so much for the assault allegations, which have not yet been, fully investigated or proven to be true, but because of the Nazi photo. Because the photo came out, and that was sort of their out to say, okay, we want to remove ourselves from this situation. Once that surfaced, no matter how old the photo is, there was no way he was going to survive that. So they looked at that and said, well, now we have reason to get rid of this guy. That's what I'll bet happened here. I'll bet anything. The allegations made them uneasy, but they have held on to certain people before in spite of allegations that have been levied against them, but not uneasy enough to fire him until the photo came out. And once the photo came out, that gave them the cover that they needed to get rid of him because he wasn't worth the baggage. That's what happened here. If he was a bigger name, maybe he could have survived it. But once they saw that photo, that was it. That was the end of it. Cut bait and toss him overboard. That was it. Now, the other side to this story, and there's always another side, came not from Carter, because Carter has stayed silent throughout this entire ordeal. He has not said a word. He has not tweeted anything. He has not put any kind of a formal statement out, even since he's been fired. At least as of the time of this recording, he hasn't. So it hasn't come from him directly. It has come from his partner's wife, or now ex-partner's wife, Wes Lee, his now former tag team partner in MSK. Wes Lee's wife, Erica Marie, tweeted that Carter is innocent of everything that he has been accused of. She said Kimberly was actually served divorce papers on Monday, the very same day that she tweeted that photo of her face, claiming that she was just mad about that. And she decided to get back at him by doing what she did. Of course, she could be as mad as she wants to be. The fact that if we take her at face value here, and that's what happened, that doesn't change the possibility that, in fact, she was abused. So let's just make that very clear. No one's saying whether it's, 100% definitive or not exactly, what happened in that photo, but one doesn't necessarily mean that the other is false. So we'll just put that out there. But she said, just so everybody is aware, Nash Carter has been living with Wes and I for months, ever since she was in the hospital, which she checked herself into, she being Kimberly. he's actually been the one trying to avoid her and her mental abuse. They have not been together. He went to one therapy session. You know, the reason she even posted that photo in the first place, Kimberly, is because people were attacking her on social media. They were calling her a liar when she first went public with the allegations. So she posted the photo. And that only seemed to enrage people even more. That only seemed to make things even worse. So they're still technically married, but they've been apart now for a while, and Carter has been living with Wes and his wife, and he did in fact serve divorce papers on her this past week, I believe on Monday. And it has gotten really dirty, with Wes's wife going back and forth with Kimberly on Twitter, posting screenshots of things that she claims Kimberly lied about, text messages and DMs and things of that nature. And to be fair, you know, from what I saw, there was a lot of seemingly conflicting things that Kimberly was posting that didn't really seem to, you know, make a whole lot of sense. That does not mean that she's lying about what happened to her, but it creates a situation where I don't know what to believe or who's telling the truth. This whole thing is a fucking mess. Kimberly has since deactivated her Twitter. Right now, it's a she said, she said. It's not even a he said, she said. Because Carter's not doing any of the talking here. It's his friend's wife. So it's she said, which honestly, him staying silent for the time being might just be the best thing for him. To keep his mouth shut. Maybe he's doing that on the advice of counsel. I don't know. But keep your mouth shut. Wait for your turn to try to clear things up. Maybe it's in a court of law. That might not be such a bad thing. Because this whole thing as it currently exists, it's such a mess. All the back and forth. All the salacious stuff. It might just be good for him to be patient and then have his day. But he apparently has a lot of support from members of the NXT locker room, and clearly on social media, people started a Justice for Nash Carter hashtag, which, I mean, good grief. Yeah, the state of social media today. Nobody knows the full truth, but he's got a lot of people behind him right now. One thing he does not have anymore is a job. And he has been dating Gigi Dolan of Toxic Attraction since he split from his wife, even though technically they're still married. I guess the two of them started dating not too long ago. And the day that he was fired, Dolan tweeted, "This world makes me sick." So she doesn't sound very happy about this. Meanwhile, Wes Lee, let's talk about Wes Lee. Poor Wes Lee, he gets fucked over because he just lost his tag team partner. And now he lost his tag team title. Through no fault of his own. It's like I've said before, I've talked about tag teams. When you're in a tag team, this is what you're always at risk for. You could stay healthy and not get hurt. You could walk the straight and narrow and be a model citizen and not get in trouble and not fail a test and not get arrested. But if something happens to your partner, you're fucked. And that's what happened to Wes Lee. I don't know if they're going to just pair him up with somebody else in a new team, or if they're going to use him as a single. He's very talented. I would hate to see his career get derailed because of all this drama. So hopefully he'll land on his feet and they'll find something for him to do. And it's not over yet. You know, Lee's wife tweeted, he tagged Kimberly and said, "Kimberly got served divorce papers by Nash on Monday. He's been done with her. She's mad this is all happening, so she's turning to Twitter because she's outraged that he doesn't want to be with her anymore. It really is that simple. And let me not forget to mention that when she got served those papers, she was so upset that she ripped up all of Nash's posters, one-of-a-kind posters with other wrestlers' signatures. This is a case of an enraged, soon-to-be ex-wife who feels she is entitled to alimony. I will not give up, and I will continue to fight for my friend and his innocence for those saying to release the texts. I would much rather have him bring them to court for a slander and defamation case. This is only the beginning." If there's evidence to suggest that she's lying, then a court of law is the place to bring that up and litigate it, not on social media. Bring the receipts and let the law handle things. I don't know either of these people. I get the sense I don't want to know either of these people. But I don't know either of these people. There's been so much mudslinging back and forth and contradictory things I've seen that I have no opinion on one way or the other as far as how this should be handled. But I do know this. You should not be allowed to make shit up about somebody to try to ruin their life. And I know it happens and it sucks, and you should not be allowed to do that. You should not be allowed to get away with that. And look, if they have shit to show, I hope they show it in court. And if they can prove that she's lied about certain things, then hopefully, that'll be dealt with. If you can prove that you've been wronged, then the man deserves his day in court. But as far as judging who's right and who's wrong, I have no idea, and neither do you. I'm going to reserve any further judgment until we see how this all plays out. All the hashtag, justice for Nash Carter, you're not going to see any hashtags out of me.